Imagine rebuilding your entire house just to burn it down a few decades later. That sounds insane today, but one ancient civilization kept doing exactly that. Entire villages were deliberately set on fire over and over again for thousands of years. And archaeologists still aren't completely sure why. The deeper they dug into these ruins, the stranger the story became. Because these houses didn't accidentally catch fire during war or natural disasters. Someone carefully prepared them to burn. We're talking about the Cucuteni Tripilia civilization in Eastern Europe over 6,000 years ago. These people built some of the largest settlements on Earth long before the pyramids existed. From above, their villages looked surprisingly organized, almost like modern city planning. Thousands of people lived together in massive circular communities made of clay and wood. Wait, what is that? Run! They are coming! Deep terror! But how is this all connected? Large sections of these settlements suddenly turned into giant fire pits. At first, archaeologists assumed invading armies must have destroyed them. That explanation sounded reasonable until the evidence stopped making sense. Weapons were missing from many of the burned sites. Human remains were strangely rare, too. And the fires themselves were way too intense for random accidents.
Some houses reach temperatures hotter than modern brick ovens.
That level of heat doesn't happen when a candle tips over. Someone wanted these homes completely consumed by fire. Even stranger, many burned houses contained valuable objects left behind on purpose. Pottery, tools, decorations, sometimes everything was still sitting neatly inside. It looked less like panic and more like a carefully planned ritual. Almost like the owners walked away willingly before the flames started. Some researchers think these people viewed houses as living spiritual spaces. Burning a home may have symbolized the end of one life cycle and the beginning of another. In other words, they didn't just abandon old houses. They gave them a funeral. But not everyone agrees with that theory. Other archaeologists think the fires had a practical purpose instead. These settlements were crowded, smoky, and packed with wooden structures. After decades of use, pests and mold would have spread everywhere. Burning entire neighborhoods may have been the ancient version of hitting a reset button. It would destroy insects, bacteria, and rotting materials all at once. Honestly, that idea sounds disturbingly effective. But then the mystery became even harder to explain.
because researchers discovered many walls survived the fires surprisingly well. The extreme heat actually hardened the clay surfaces into something almost ceramic-like.
Some houses became stronger after burning.
That discovery completely changed the investigation.
Suddenly, archaeologists wondered if the fires were part of the construction process itself. Maybe these people intentionally baked their homes like giant pottery pieces.
To test the idea, researchers decided to try something completely insane. They built full-scale ancient houses using traditional materials. Then they set the entire structures on fire.
The experiments quickly turned into absolute chaos. Flames exploded through the wooden frames faster than expected.
Thick smoke swallowed the buildings within minutes.
Some roofs collapsed almost immediately under the heat. But parts of the clay walls survived, exactly like the ancient ruins.
The fires created the same strange hardened surfaces found at archaeological sites.
That meant ancient people probably understood fire engineering far better than expected. They weren't clueless villagers randomly burning things down.
They knew exactly how these structures would react.
And that raises an even bigger question. If the fires were intentional, how much work did this actually require?
The answer is ridiculous.
Researchers estimate a single house may have needed hundreds of trees worth of wood to fully burn. Not branches, entire trees. Now imagine doing that for dozens of houses at the same time. You'd basically need to sacrifice part of a forest just to destroy one village. That doesn't sound like something people would casually do every weekend.
Which suggests the burnings were probably major community events. Entire generations may have gathered together to watch these homes disappear in flames. Imagine the noise, the heat, and the smoke covering the night sky.
For them, this might have felt sacred instead of tragic.
Some researchers even think the destruction helped unify the community emotionally.
Everyone lost their homes together, then rebuilt together afterward. That creates a very different relationship with property than modern society has today. Most people now spend their lives trying to protect houses forever. These ancient communities may have believed nothing should last forever at all. Hello, I'm Sparky. Welcome to Learning Made Fun. Have you ever wondered about this data? Whoa! But don't worry, it's simple. Let's dive in. But there's still one massive problem with every theory. Not all settlements burn the same way. Today, we look back at those ruins and see destruction. They may have seen transformation instead.